Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to create a new legal entity in D365. But before that I'm going to discuss some basic concept, basic screens of D365. So this is home page of D365. Then we have a favorite button. But we can add the menu which we are frequently using in D365 in a favorite button. So suppose this is vendor aging report. So I'm using frequently this report, so I can add this menu into my favorite. So I'm adding this menu by clicking star button into my favorite. So you can see that now vendor aging report is in my favorite menu. Then we have a recent tab. So in recent tab we can able to find out what are the menu and areas I have recently visited. Then we have a workspace. We have a workspace of each areas in D365. Suppose I want to access my bank related information, then I will click on that bank management. Then you can find out that this is a summary of all my banks. Then this is my current balance. If I click on this balance, then all related transaction will come over here. This workspace is very interactive. So if you can see that I'm able to find out these 5 years of chart of my this particular bank account over here. So this is my workspace. So you can access workspace for your frequently used areas, and for easy to use, and for sometime it is helpful for this interactive charts also. Then this is a module page. This is all the modules which D365 inbuilt have in system. So now I'm going into organization and admin module. In organization and admin module we have a organization tab, and in organization tab we have a legal entity. So I'm clicking on this legal entity. Now I'm going to create a new legal entity. So throughout this series I'm going to use this legal entity. So I'm going to create a new legal entity, ABC Manufacturing Private Limited. This is a company code. So here I am selecting AMPL, short form of my company. Okay, AMPL. Then this is a country and region. So if I'm selecting India, then Indian localization will be activated. If I will select Afghanistan, then Afghanistan related localization will come over here. So I will select here as India. Okay, so now my new legal entity is created. So here if you will see, there is lots of legal entity over here in demo environment. So this is a all the setup and setup is predefined by Microsoft. So in Microsoft demo environment, Microsoft will give you a predefined setup for each legal entity. Suppose this is INMF legal entity. INMF legal entity is useful for India related setup and India related localization. So if I want to refer India related localization and setup, I will visit INMF from here, and I will find all the INMF India related localization in this particular legal entity. Suppose I want to see Italy related localization. So Microsoft have a ITCO. So in Microsoft we have so many legal entities. Suppose we want to see China, Japan, US related localization, then we have a USMF company. So company have so many. So Microsoft have so many companies and their localization supported in D365 software. Okay, so so we have created one legal entity which is a AMPL, which is an India based legal entity. Okay, so in a new company we have a company name over here. Then we have a company code over here. Then we have a memo button. You can write down any company logo or motto over here. Then we have a search name. Then we have a in hierarchy button. So in a hierarchy button is a non-editable button. So if I have created hierarchy over here, then this button will automatically enable. So how hierarchy we will create, how we can create hierarchy, we will see in our next video. And then we have a button of use for financial consolidation purpose. So we have so many legal entity, and we have a holding and subsidiary company. So for holding companies, for creation of the holding company, we can use this button. So in this whole, so then we have a language button. So here I have selected Indian English language. Then we have a time zone. So I have selected India related time zone, GMT 5. Then we have a address. So I have selected ABC Manufacturing Private Limited, our company name. Then we have a purpose. So over here we can create multiple addresses, and based on our purpose we can create multiple address. Suppose for a business address we can select over here as in business. Suppose we have a multiple warehouse, so for warehouse we need to select over here as in warehouse. Suppose we have a head office in different area, so for a head office address we need to select over here as an head office. So right now I am selecting business over here for a business address. And then we have a country. I have selected India over here. Then we have a zip code. So this is a zip code I have selected for, because my company is in Delhi. So this is Delhi related zip code I have selected, and I have selected this this over here. Then I have a one button as an primary. So we have a so each legal entity have a one primary address. So by default you can see this is enable yes over here. So if company have a multiple addresses, then you can define one primary address which is a mandatory, and if you will not enable, then a first address will be considered as in your primary address. So that's how we can create address over here. So over here I have told you that we have a zip code. So how this zip code is come over here. So I'm going into the organization and admin module. Over here we have a addresses, and in address setup we have a various setup. This is address format setup, this is a country setup, this is a predefined country setup done by the Microsoft. Over here we have a state related setup. If I select India and I will apply, then all the Indian state will come over here. Then we have a country related setup, we have a city related setup, then we have a zip code related setup over here. So over here I have done the setup of zip code. So that zip code is come at the time of creation of the legal entity on an address page. Okay, then next is a contact information. Before that I'm going to add a new address. So right now I'm writing my company name ABC Manufacturing. This is my warehouse address. So I'm writing down warehouse, and now I'm not selecting in purpose, I'm selecting delivery because it is my warehouse address, delivery address. Okay, now I'm in country, I'm selecting India. Then I'm selecting any zip code. So suppose my warehouse is in Chennai. So I am selecting this Chennai over here. So so Chennai related delivery address is now created over here. Then I am selecting my contact address over here. So I can write down my phone number over here, company phone number. Okay, then I can also write down email address and URL and everything over here. Then we have registration number over here. So registration number will disable right now because we have selected India over here. Suppose I will select Japan, then Japan registration will be enabled. Then suppose I will select Canada over here, then Canada related registration detail will enable. Then we have a bank account information over here, but we are not using this space for a bank account related information. We are using we have a cash and bank module in D365 that we will use for bank information. Then we have a number sequence, but number sequence we will not covering in this video. We will cover in our next video. Then we have this dashboard. We can use this dashboard for a company logo purpose. So now I'm going into my home page. So in my home page, this logo will look like this. So this is a Microsoft predefined logo. So you can browse your company's logo over here. Now again I'm going into organization and admin on legal entity page. I'm going in our legal entity ACB manufacturing. Then we have a tax registration number. We can write down here our tax registration number 16 digit. Then we can write down company PAN number over here. So this is how we can create a new legal entity in D365. So in our next video we are run number sequence setup for this particular legal entity.